Well, isn't that a pretty picture? Santa rolling down the block in a panther. Well, I really hope you've been good this year, kids, because Santa just took out the Pearson home. And coming! And another thing.
Wait, what are you... That's not what we talked about.
What?
You're not even doing the right movie.
No, it's Tim Allen's Christmas movie.
No. Well, yeah, but not that one.
Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Christmas with the Kranks. You had one germ.
I swear.
It's like,
man, I can't get anything right.
You think Tim Allen, and your mind immediately goes to the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
We'll get there at one point, I'm sure.
Eventually.
If there's time.
It's a thing. Who knows? Ipso facto.
Well, I've been looking forward to doing this one because it's not really a heavily quotable movie, but there are a lot of memorable scenes to talk about. So I'm looking forward to getting into those without the pressure of getting the quotes right. You know, because we love, what would you know about pressure?
No, this has been this is a great movie. I love this movie. I think it's hysterical, but it's more, like you're saying, there's not a lot of quotable things in this movie, but it is worth us covering.
Yeah, there's a few lines that stand out that I'm thinking about, but I really just would enjoy just talking about the movie itself. It's not a traditional Christmas movie. It's definitely got a different kind of plot. It's a very simple plot. It's not complex. You don't have to overthink anything. It's simply the fact that Tim Allen's character, Luther, and his wife Nora, who's played by Jamie Lee Curtis,
right?
Their daughter just goes away to Peru.
Yeah, because she joined the Peace Corps.
Right. So this is the first year in 23 years where they've spent Christmas without her. And so Luther, while he's at work, he sits down and he starts calculating all the receipts from the previous Christmas and realizes that they've spent over $6,000 on Christmas, the previous year. And he was thinking, well, screw that. Why not save the money and put it towards something else? And
I love that, kind of like that introduction. They drop their daughter off at the airport. Mm-hmm. What was her name? Blair?
Blair, yeah.
Blair. So they drop her off at the airport, and then as they're going back, she was like, oh, I need white chocolate, pistachios, and something from Cliffs or something like that. I can't remember
I don't remember the name of the store. It's pouring down rain.
Yeah, but what's so hysterical about that scene is, he goes to get out of the car, and every single husband has been in this situation, knows this exact thing. So basically what it is she's like, oh, well, I have to host whatever dinner or something coming up. And she's like, yeah, can you just go inside because I need pistachios and I need white chocolate. And he was like, wait, it's pouring down rain. She's like, oh, fine, I'll just go. He's like, you know what, I'll go. And she's, oh, thank you. Yeah, because it's one of those things, as a man, we know exactly how it is. All right, fine. I'll be the one to get soaking wet in the greater Northeast the day after Thanksgiving, because I'm pretty sure that water, it's not that cold. I mean, come on.
It's probably a little chilly.
Yeah. So he goes in, and when he gets back to the car, she was like, did you get the white chocolate? And he was like, sorry, they were fresh out. And she was like, did you talk to Chip? And she's like, who's Chip? And she was like, the butcher. And he's like, oh, yeah, because that's the most logical thing to do is I'm going to ask the butcher, where's the white chocolate?
I'm sorry, I didn't think to ask the butcher where the chocolate is.
Yeah. And she was like, oh, it's fine. And he's like, I guess I'm going to go back in. I wonder why you're asking why I'm wet. She's just like, okay, thanks.
But as every time he gets to the curb, because they park right across the street from this little shop, there's a guy dressed as Santa trying to sell umbrellas to people.
Yeah. And I really think you need an umbrella.
Yeah, and then he gets irritated by this guy. He's like, "Leave me alone! Like,
Yeah.
I just want to get in and out."
Yep.
And then
I don't want to be bothered with your peddling of probably stolen goods.
you never know.
Just leave me alone.
You never know.
No, you never do.
But I like when he comes out of the store and then the awning just it reaches its capacity.
Yeah.
It couldn't hold any more water, and then it just dumps all over him while he's trying to explain to the Santa why he doesn't want an umbrella.
Yeah, and then finally at the very end, like after the water's done pouring, because I kind of imagine that it's a slew of obscenities.
It could be.
But then at the very end, like when the water's done pouring, he's like, "Because I couldn't get any wetter."
Yeah. He
Which
makes
is
a
pretty
good
much
point.
yeah, it's pretty much the truth.
But yeah, so he
That's definitely one of those scenes where it's like, I mean, it'd be like, "Oh, I don't need a bath."
I think this
I'm
was
good.
like, yeah, this moment right here, I think was kind of like the straw that
Yeah.
broke the proverbial back. I think this just kind of set in motion this idea of, well, what's the point of even doing Christmas this year?
Yeah.
If Blair's not going to be here, and then all this hassle that we have to go through every time just to plan for Christmas, because it's like, it's almost as if the entire neighborhood and the community relies on them for Christmas. And if they don't participate, it's like, well, what do we do now?
Yeah. That's kind of how I took it, especially when Luther comes up with the idea. He was like, "How about we just skip Christmas? Like, let's you and I go on a cruise," which to me seems logical. I mean, to me it kind of seems like, all right, okay, well, Luther does make the comment at the very end of the movie when Nora puts that cream on him or whatever, and he was just like, "God, I look like my mother."
Yeah.
And she's been dead for 15 years. But he makes that comment, and so it's like, you can't, I can't really see them having like a lot of close relatives or anything that are in the general area. So it's kind of like, yeah, you're not really celebrating Christmas with anyone. So yeah, go on a cruise. I mean, treat yourself. But I do like when it comes up, that whole scene is hysterical because, he's just kind of glancing at Nora like, "Hey, ha ha ha." And she was like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" And he was
What
like,
are you
and she was
smiling?
like, "Just eat your pasta." And he was like, "I'm done with my pasta, but I'm not done
finished
with
with
you." And like pushes the plate away, and she's immediately like, "Oh, this is happening. Yep.
Yeah.
We are gonna have the sex,
The sexy times.
Yep." And so he goes into the other room. He's like, "I'll be right back." And you just kind of imagine like he's going to come in just wearing a Speedo or something and be like, "Bend over, mama, because I'm coming in hot." And she's like, "Just be sure to shut the blinds."
Yeah. So she's like
So she's
mussing her hair
undoing-
up, and then she like
Yeah.
she's like starts unbuttoning her vest, her
Her
Christmas
sweater vest.
Yeah.
And then he was like, What are you doing? Sit down. Like, come on.
Button your vest back up.
Button
Like,
your vest
what-
back up. Why'd you unbutton it in the first place?
But like, why does he care if it's buttoned or unbuttoned?
Yeah,
Like
it
they're
doesn't
at
matter.
home by themselves. so-
Exactly. So I love that scene. And he was like, "Yeah, no," he's like, "We spent $6,100 last year on Christmas." And she's like, "Oh, yeah, why? Why are you bringing this to my attention?" And then he was like, "Oh, this year, let's just you and I go on a cruise, but we'll get rid of, like, we'll skip Christmas." So they're doing all that. And then she was like, "All right, how much is this fantasy of yours going to cost?" And he was like, $3,000. And she was like, we get
save money?
We save money?
Yeah.
She's just so excited by that. And then she was like, "Well, we still have to give our charitable donations to the church and to," I can't remember what
I don't
else.
remember what the other thing, but he's like, "I'm sorry, it's a
She-
total
he's like,
bar.
"No, it's a total boycott
boycott." Yeah.
of Christmas." And then she's like, "Oh, well then forget it," and shuts the book. And then you see him laying in bed, and he was like, "You're really going to let $600 stand in the way of us going on a cruise?" And
She's
she was like,
"No, you are."
You are." Total woman move.
That's a dick move. I hate that.
Just to
And then
throw
it's
it
like-
right in your
it's
husband's
like,
face.
Fucking hell. It's like, fine, I'll match last year's donation.
Yep.
and then whatever the other charity thing was.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, when do we leave? And it's like noon Christmas Day.
Yeah.
It's like you get a good deal because most people aren't going to be traveling on Christmas Day.
Yeah, I mean, but still, they could do still do the things that, she wanted to do. Like, they were talking about the Christmas Eve party. Like, that comes up at some point in the movie. And that whole scene is hysterical because you have Jamie Lee Curtis meeting her girlfriends for lunch or brunch or whatever. And they're talking, and she's like, "Yeah, no, we're skipping Christmas this year. Blair's out of town and everything. It's just me and Luther. It just doesn't seem." And they're like, "Well, what are we gonna do?" And she was like, "Oh, I'm sure you'll find parties to go to."
Yeah,
like
because one of them is like, "Well, what about the Christmas Eve party?" And she's like, "No, we're not doing it this year."
Yeah.
Well, what am I supposed to do?
Yeah,
it's like you're a fucking grown up.
I know.
Figure it out. Good Lord, woman.
It's like both of the listeners for this podcast. They're like, "Well, what do we do? I don't know what to do."
Yeah,
we're not here to tell you what to do.
During that 2-month hiatus, I'm sure they were just like miserable.
Yeah, I mean,
distraught.
The only thing that we can tell you to do is watch the movie.
Yes, exactly. You watch movies and then hope that at one point we might talk about them.
Exactly. Eventually, we'll get to Wrestler's Rhapsody.
But while they're, newsflash, we already did.
Twice.
Once. But then that guy comes up, the one that she gets the Christmas cards from.
Yeah.
And
what like, an asshole.
Yeah, because she says that I'm not going to need the Christmas cards this year. And then he comes up, Nora, I know you weren't going to get the Christmas cards, but what about your invitations?
And she was like, "No, we're totally not doing Christmas this year." And then the girls are like, and he's like, "Yeah, she's not getting Christmas cards either."
And then he goes and sits down at the table at this restaurant
and stares at her.
And he's basically giving her the stink eye the whole time.
What an asshole.
Like, fuck this guy.
I hate that guy. I'm glad you never see him in the movie ever again.
He's got one of those faces that just make you want to punch a baby or something.
Yep. Total mic hit.
You could punch the babies, just leave the mic alone. I like when Luther is... He decides that he's going to put out a memo to the office to let everybody know.
Colleagues. I think it was weird how he set that up.
Yeah, it was kind of odd. And it's kind of like where we are today, where comics have to do this preface before they start a routine. I'm not here to offend anybody.
Yeah. Well, you brought it up. And maybe it's just because of the fact that, I mean, I want to say, like, I'm a little bit behind on the times. I mean, I didn't have an email until 2004. And so that there alone, because you were like, why didn't he just send this out in like a bulk email to the entire thing? Because he printed like 50 copies.
Yeah, and he passes them out around the office.
Passes them out. And I really kind of think that, I mean, the way he did it, I respect that a little bit, because it's like, all right, at least that there, you can sit there and be like, all right, I can get that. I get it. I don't know how to send bulk emails to a ton of people at once, and I had said, I was like, well, maybe it's just the time frame.
Yeah.
Like, that time frame. So maybe he had to print off all those copies. But I mean, like me, I respect it. But now it's just kind of more, I think.
It seems
now,
wasteful.
Well, in 2024, I think this just kind of seems more now where it's like, you could just walk around and be like, hey, I'm not doing Christmas this year. Sorry.
If this movie existed today, he would have just sent a Teams message to everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's the direction that everybody's going now.
Which is kind of, I mean, to me, it's, I think it's kind of weird just because of the fact that, like, he said we're doing a total boycott on Christmas. But even in the letter, when he typed it out, he was like, I'm not going to be like, oh, humbug or anything like that. So I kind of imagine that if someone walked by and they were like, hey, Luther, Merry Christmas, he was probably like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Instead of just being
go
like,
fuck yourself.
instead of just being like, oh, hey, and a Merry Christmas to you. Like, you can't have like a total boycott on Christmas. I mean, you know, if someone's like, hey, Merry Christmas, to be like, hey, Happy Holidays to you. Or Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I think what he really meant was a boycott on the spending. Just no spending anything on Christmas this year. You know, he's not going to be a dick to people who wish him Merry Christmas or whatever. But the fact that he had to send out a memo and he's like, we're not angry or anything like that.
Yeah.
You know, we're just not doing Christmas this year.
And people should be able to look at it and be like, I respect that.
Yeah, but no, the way that everybody's like giving him dirty looks and like, well, okay, Mr. Scrooge and this and that. And then what his secretary makes some comment about, I guess I have to get myself a cheap bottle of perfume this year.
From CVS or something.
Whatever it was,
like, I honestly did think that was a pretty funny line. I think it was overlooked.
Yeah. But just the way that people were responding to the fact that him and Nora decided not to do Christmas, it's like nobody would ever act this way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes this movie as funny as it is.
Yeah. The whole thing of, you know, I think it was the newspaper, the front page of the newspaper, when they get it and they're like, oh, Scrooge on Elm Street or whatever. And then he goes over across the street to his neighbor. I can't remember his neighbors.
Oh, the ones across the street?
Yeah.
Oh, the one that always calls him old man?
Yeah. And he was like, what? He's like, I don't know why you call me old man. He's like, you're 10 years older than I am.
Oh, really?
So prove it. What?
He's like, stop doing that.
Yeah. But when he was just like, yeah, there's only one way that this guy could get this picture. And he was like, what picture? He's like, the one of my house. He was like, it would come from your roof. And he was like,
oh, that one.
Oh, that one.
Well, he said he wanted to get a picture of the whole street.
Yeah. And it's not a picture of the whole street. It's a picture of one house.
Just his house.
Yeah.
Because they live in a community where during Christmas, everybody decorates. Everybody puts a giant 7-foot Frosty on their roof. And because of the total boycott...
Free Frosty. Free Frosty.
Because of the total boycott, he didn't want to put the Frosty up.
No.
But once the whole neighborhood finds out, because word travels fast here.
Yeah.
And
God forbid it get to Vic Frohmeyer.
Yes.
Oh. You're going to have problems now.
And it's funny how they try to keep Vic Frohmeyer, who played Vic, a secret.
Yeah.
Until the last minute.
Yep.
It's like you could see him from the back and immediately know who it was.
Yeah.
The one. The only. Dan Aykroyd.
I do like when he's introduced because the Boy Scouts or something come up and they're like, hey, you know, we got you the best tree. You know, and he was like, all right. He was like, how much is this tree gonna cost? And the guy's like, sorry, $90. He was like, but it, you know,
he's like, it's a butte. It's like a 10-foot spruce. I know how Nora likes the big ones.
Yeah, but he just kind of was like, oh, and Nora comes out and she's like, oh, look at it, it's so beautiful, and then the kid's like, sorry, we had to go up in price, but you know, they raised prices on us.
He's like, we're not making as much per tree this year.
Yeah, and he's like, we're skipping Christmas.
He should have led with that.
And the guy's like, oh, like, huh? And then the kid's like,
sorry, we had to go up on the price.
Sorry, we had to go up on the price. Like, what? And he's just like, no, I'm sorry. It's, you know, we're skipping Christmas. And then Nora just turns around and goes inside like, all right, you deal with this. Like, you made this bed. Now you got to lie in it.
And not to shame the kid or anything, but this kid had the worst gap I've ever seen. His teeth look like Goofy almost.
I know. Yeah,
and it's like,
it was...
They couldn't give this poor kid braces? Like, good Lord. Times must be hard. But yeah, they walk across the street and they go to load the tree back up into the back of the truck.
Yeah.
And, you know, Vic comes out and he's like, yeah, it's Luther just stiffed the Boy Scouts on a tree.
Yeah.
And it's like, he didn't stiff them.
No,
he just didn't buy one.
Yeah, he just didn't buy a tree. I mean, it's not like he's buying it from somewhere else. So, and then at the very end of the movie, Blair calls, and I think it's funny watching the movie. You see the almost kind of like the balance shift where you have Nora who feels like we should do something for Christmas at some point in time, just so our neighbors shut up. And Luther's like, nope, we're totally skipping it. Now he's in the city at work, so he doesn't have to deal with the stuff that she has to deal with, where it's like neighbors out in their yard protesting, or they're not even protesting. It's like they're on testing, almost like, get your Christmas shit out. And then Vic even says, he was like, we just want Frosty. He's leave them on the porch.
You don't even have to put them up.
It will do everything else.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
And that's probably where I would have been like, at least they're going to do it for us. Like, if it's that big of a deal, then just freaking give them Frosty. What's the problem?
And I mean, and at that point, you have to sit there and look at it and go, who really gives a shit? I mean, yeah, don't buy presents, don't do whatever, but I mean, still decorate at least.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's not, that doesn't cost anything.
And that was the whole
free.
reason. Yeah, that was the whole reason why they wanted to take a picture. It's like, they're not decorating, they're not putting the Frosty up. The only street on the house, or the only house on the street that didn't have a Frosty up. And it's like, this is what's making the news.
Yeah.
Like, come on. But what I liked is when they're getting ready to go on the cruise, and it's like, he's got this idea. He's going to have Nora meet him for lunch. And then they were at the mall, and then he's like, we're going to go get tans. We're going to go to the tanning. And I've never seen a tanning place inside of a mall, to my knowledge.
Neither have I.
And it's all opened up. He's like, you're going to have people walking around in their swimsuits.
Yeah.
But no, this one is all completely open up. Anybody walking by can just see. Yeah. Right in, but the girl behind the counter is ridiculous. She's got the worst fake tan I've ever seen, but it's funny that Luther even makes a comment to Nora. He's like, don't look at her eyes.
Yeah.
Because she's got like the white circles around her eyes because that part did not tan, you know, and I can relate. I know exactly what that's like, but it's funny how she's the one being condescending towards them because, you know, he's talking about, like, we got to get a base tan going before we go on the cruise. She's like, I thought we were going to get a tan on while we're on the cruise.
He's like, no, you got to set a base.
Yeah. And
I mean, me, like, I'm darker complected. I'm not, you know, I mean, it's just my Native American heritage that goes back a ways. So me, like, I can stand outside today. Like, it's 40-something degrees outside. I can stand outside today for 10 or 15 minutes and get a base tan. So
it doesn't have to be hot out to get a tan. You just have to be in the sun.
But there are people out there that their base tan is like white
and then red.
Yes.
But one of the funniest comments is when the two of them are standing there, and he makes a comment about, like, we don't exactly have a base tan going, like, we're kind of pale. Yeah. And then the girl behind the counter's like, you look like a corpse. But so they both get ready. They get their own separate beds and everything, and then Nora goes to lay down, and then I don't remember why she ends up getting up when she hits her head.
Oh, because some dude just, like, comes in.
Yeah, and I thought that was weird because normally in these tanning places,
it's almost like he was in the closet or something. But it's like, it's not like a closet, but it's like, you know, like,
they didn't have a door. They had like a curtain.
Well, you have your sunroom here, and that's, you know, you have a very beautiful, like, drape system over your sunroom door. And that's kind of what it's like. Like, this guy just walks in and he's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I thought that he was just in, like, a little separate room inside the room that she was in. Now, and I don't know, maybe it's me and maybe it's age. I have no idea. But it's both. But the scene when they're at lunch and he was like, oh, I got something for you. And he gives her the bikini top and then gives her the bikini bottom. And he's like, yeah, we'll just go and get like a base tan going on. When she's standing in front of the mirror wearing that bikini, I'm like, it's actually pretty hot. I'm like, all right, Jamie Lee Curtis, way to go. And I remember, was it 22 years ago that this came out? I was like, God, come on.
Like old people in a bikini.
You can't do this. And now I'm looking at it and I'm like, it's pretty hot.
Like, I wouldn't kick her out of bed for eating crackers.
I am not mad about this at all.
Not even a little. But I like how she says when he hands her the bikini, he's like, I'm not going to walk around in front of people with this on. He's like, this isn't for other people. So it's like they're just walking around in their on the cruise or whatever, I guess.
I honestly totally forgot about the scene that you brought up, and I still think it's so hysterical. When because it's after the sun tanning thing or the tanning bed situation, and she comes out and she's like, do you have a Band-Aid? Like, and the girl's like,
like, well, so bothered. Like, there's nobody else in the freaking tanning except for that random guy going in.
So busy here.
So busy.
So she has to find a Band-Aid.
Yeah, and then
the
freaking priest shows up, and then a crowd forms behind, and he's like blatantly staring at her in her bikini.
Yeah. I mean, well, who wouldn't? She's hot.
But it's like, he's a priest. Maintain some decorum here.
Exactly. But then I like it when Luther comes out because he's like, oh, the attendant told me that, you cut your head. He's like, what's going on? And then the priest is like, Luther? And he was like, oh, hey, Father Bishop. And he was like, oh, Father Bishop. But I like how he hides behind Nora, who just has like that little small sweat towel.
Yeah.
So it's like she can only cover her gigantic breasts.
Either her breasts or her lower half, but it's like not both.
She can't do both.
She can't do both. But then she asked for a bigger towel, I think, for the girl behind the counter. She's like, I'm trying to find a Band-Aid.
But no, the scene that I'm talking about is after the tanning bed situation, when I guess they're out at lunch again somewhere else, and he got Botox. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I can't even feel this.
Yeah,
he's stabbing himself in the face with the fork.
I don't know if he's eating like peaches.
It looked like
mango.
It looked
something.
like peaches or mango. It's both. But they did both.
So yeah,
it's a fruit cocktail of some sort.
And then she's like, I think you've taken this thing too far. And he's like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, look at you. Like your not face isn't even moving.
I know. It looked like he got. And to go back to the Santa Claus, it looked like he got stung by a bee in the face.
So yeah, he's like,
I've never seen anybody get Botox and their hairline recedes.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, they take a big needle and they just inject it right into your forehead or whatever. And it's funny because she's talking to him and he's not paying attention to a word that she's saying.
Yeah.
And he's trying to chew on the mango or whatever, and it keeps falling out of his mouth, which is absolutely hysterical. But at one point, he's taking a fork and he's like, this is amazing. He's like, I can't feel a thing. The way that he did that and played that scene was spot on.
It was.
Because he's like, he's trying to eat it. He can't feel his mouth. It keeps falling out. At one point, he tilts his head back so it can force it down his throat, but then he's choking on it. And meanwhile, Nora's just kind of like against everything that's going on.
I can't even talk to you. But then, towards the end of the movie, it gets to a point where, Nora finally gets on board and she was like, you know what? And I mean, she doesn't say it obviously because it's a kid-friendly movie and everything, but you can tell it's pretty much just,
fuck this.
Fuck this street.
Yeah.
Fuck our neighbors. I don't give a shit. I'm glad we're going on the cruise. You know what? Fuck Christmas. That's almost how she's coming across. Like, I'm glad we're doing this. I'm going to go pack my bags right now. And then all of a sudden Blair calls and she's like, I'm coming home for Christmas. So she's been gone for like 5 weeks. And now all of a sudden her mom's like, oh my God, we have to get ready. Like, we have to get everything ready. And then they're like, when are you coming in? And she was like, 8:00. It's like, well, today? Huh? Like, I would have, like some heads up.
The math ain't mathing here.
So it was just one of those points where, they have to get everything ready very quickly.
But so she's on the phone with Blair. Luther comes into the room and she's like, "It's Blair."
Yeah.
And it's like, "She's coming over for Christmas." And he was kind of like, "Well, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
You think we're going to change plans now?" Nora completely does a 180.
Yeah, she is like, fuck this neighborhood. Fuck our neighbors. I don't give a shit. We're going on this cruise. And then all of a sudden it's like, Blair's going to be home. It's like, we need to get every neighbor over here now.
So you got
We're having a party.
You have all the madness.
Decorate this house.
Stat. So you have all the madness with the neighbors trying to get them to at least decorate or put up the frosty or buy trees and do all this stuff that they've done the years before. Even the cops show up to the house because they're selling a calendar to raise money that they do every single year, and they deny that. And it's like everybody's just pissed off at the Kranks because they're not spending money on Christmas. And now all of a sudden, Nora's got the change of heart. Eventually, at first, they didn't even want to bother the neighbors with it.
Right.
They were just going to call all their friends and see if they can get them to come over.
Right.
All right, we got to do the Christmas Eve party, this and that. And Luther's still just like, why are we even bothering?
But the way that I view it is, and this is probably their mistake to begin with, but the way I view it is, if I was in this situation, if I was part of a neighborhood that decorated and every single house is decorated and we want our street to look good, and I'm like, we're putting a total boycott on Christmas. We're not doing Christmas this year. I'm terribly sorry. I'm sorry for the inconvenience or whatever. But then all of a sudden something happened and something changed, and I'm like, well, shit, we have to do Christmas. The very first person that I would go to would be Vic Frohmeyer. And be like, get everyone together right now. We have to decorate this house. Blair's coming home.
Somehow he's the unspoken leader of the neighborhood,
right.
And I don't even know how he. And the thing is, they made him sound like he's this tyrant, leading everything. But he was actually a decent guy the entire movie.
Yeah, no, he's a very decent guy.
The only scene that I thought was kind of weird is when Nora was trying to sneak out of the house and she's driving down the block, and then an old man across the street is like, "Nora?" And it's like, well, yeah, who else would it be?
Yeah.
Leaving the Kranks' house.
Nora?
But then...
Is that you?
But then Vic...
what?
Vic comes up and he's like, "Nora, we just need Frosty."
Yeah,
and he's like,
"That's all we get."
And he puts his hands over her car window as she's driving down the street. And he's like, "Nora, please stop the car. Stop the car." And it's like, that scene was a bit much.
Yeah.
But she even rolls up the window, and then his gloves get stuck. And he's trying to pull his hands out. I thought that was kind of funny because she didn't notice the gloves were still there at first. Yeah. But then when she looks up, she screams.
That scene is hysterical. I mean, but it's almost like that in any movie where it's like you have one person leaving a house, but then you have the neighbor who's just like, "Nora?" Nope.
No.
It's not.
I don't know.
It's not Nora.
I don't know what you saw, but
I'm driving Nora's car, but I'm not Nora.
So it's getting to crunch time, and they're trying to, pull this thing off.
Yeah.
It's like they have to pretend that they never had the idea to go on a cruise, that the intention was to stay home, do everything that they do every other year for Christmas just for the sake of Blair.
And that's what Nora says. She was like, there's not to be one word mentioned about a cruise ever. And I mean, Luther just has to, okay, fine. Yeah, all right, fine. And I really kind of was hoping if she was like, Nora's like, we're not going to talk about the cruise. And then Luther would be like, well, we can't even talk about it? That's bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there are certain things that have to be done that Blair would expect. And it's like...
The ham.
The hickory honey ham.
Yeah, hickory honey ham.
That comes in a can, and it looks really disgusting.
It does.
Especially the one that gets run over by that semi.
Yep.
Never say hickory honey ham again.
I do like that Luther is trying to put up the Frosty. That whole scene is hysterical. So he puts up the Frosty. I don't understand exactly how everyone did this because every roof has a pitch. to it, where it just goes up to an apex.
Comes to an apex, yeah.
And you have something that is round.
With a flat bottom.
With a flat bottom, it is not going to stand by itself on an apex. You have to literally build some type of shelf or box or something that will form to that apex that has a flat bottom that you can stand it on.
Right.
Not one person did that on that fucking road.
And somehow, miraculously,
they all stayed up.
Yep.
But when he's trying to put up the Frosty and, the Frosty falls, he falls off and he's just hanging by the rope and everything. They call the fire department and they do everything. And then he was like, oh, he's sitting in the back of the ambulance and Vic Frohmeyer's just like, and Nora, she gets home. She was like, oh my God, Luther, what happened? And he was like, he was trying to put Frosty up by himself.
Like, idiot.
Yeah. Nobody puts Frosty up by themselves. And he was like, what were you trying to do? And he was like, Blair's coming home for Christmas. And then Vic stands up and he was like, Blair's coming home for Christmas.
Yeah, because the whole neighborhood is surrounding his ambulance.
So he's just like, yeah, so we got to have the party tonight. And he was like, they're having the party tonight. He's like, do you have a turkey? And he was like, no.
Does anybody have any turkey?
Smoked trout.
Oh, yeah.
And he was like, smoked trout.
And everybody's just like cringing at the thought.
And then that one lady's like, I got 2 turkeys in the oven. He's like, great, get them both.
Yeah.
I don't know why he wasn't just like, grab one, bring it over.
That's it. You don't need both.
Get them both. Get both of them over to the Kranks house now. But everybody goes into full decoration mode. I think the thing that pisses me off more than anything, but I can kind of totally understand.
More than anything, Ron.
More than anything, Ron, is just the fact that everybody's doing everything and Luther's just standing there. Like making fun of everything. Like
he's just the conductor.
They have like the logs or something, like the small sticks. And he's like, what is this? What are these even? And then he's like pretends to light them like a cigar. And it's just like, come on, man, grab something. Put something up. But then when he has like the ornaments and he just pitches them across the room really quick, I'm just sitting there thinking, like, every time I watch, I'm like, what a dick. Like, asshole.
You just expect everybody to drop what they're doing.
And maybe it's because of the fact that he literally just fell off the roof. I don't know. But that was a dick thing to do. But then at the end, I think I can't remember who it was, but when he's sulking because they couldn't go on the cruise still.
Yeah, he goes in the other room with that bottle of champagne or whatever.
Well, it's funny because Enrique gives this beautiful toast, like, thank you for welcoming me into your home, into your lives, into the neighborhood. This is the best Christmas ever. And then Nora's like, it's so great that you're here. We're glad. And then she was like, Luther? And he's like, me too. Twice.
Yeah, he's like, double for me. Yeah.
Double for me. And just goes into the kitchen and everyone's like,
like, that's it? That's all you had to say?
And but I don't know what people would have wanted from him. I mean, the guy did a toast just saying, hey, like, we had you over for Thanksgiving. We had a couple other people over for Thanksgiving. And someone just stood up and was like, hey, I'd like to propose a toast. Like, thank you for having me. This is a wonderful Thanksgiving. The best Thanksgiving I could have asked for. It's not like I'm going to stand up and be like, well, you know what made it a great Thanksgiving?
Like, why are you trying to one-up me, bro?
Is because of the fact that we had all these people over and we cooked this glorious food and we watched TV and we had many, many, many laughs. Like, no, I'm not going to one-up you. I mean, just be like, yeah, no, accept the toast and just be like, yes, everybody drink to the toast.
Hear, hear.
Just ta-ta.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, because the other surprise was it wasn't just Blair coming home, but she's also engaged to Enrique.
Yeah, which that time frame was that was bullshit. Because, you know, at the beginning of the movie, she leaves the day after Thanksgiving. So, obviously, that would be a Friday. Or maybe it was Saturday that they were leaving. I can't remember. I think Luther did say, he was like, oh, yeah, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. That's not a busy travel day. Mm-hmm. Like, being a ass about it. So,
well, it is a horrible day to be flying out for sure.
Yeah. So, in all essence, tops, she's been gone for 5 weeks. That's, I mean, because Christmas would be the 3rd, 4th week in December. She leaves the day after Thanksgiving, which would be either the week right before December starts. So, tops, it would be like 5, maybe 6 weeks that she's gone. Mm-hmm. So literally left with the Peace Corps, flew down to South America to vaccinate babies or circumcise African men. I don't know. I don't know what the Peace Corps does. I never looked into it. I never could. But apparently, I guess when she landed and got off the plane, there was Enrique, and she was like, damn, I love you. And then the next day he was like, marry me. And she was like, of course.
No, she mentioned
that's a given.
No, she mentioned that they've known each other. They've known each other for a long time, and that the two of them had even met him before because she was trying to convince him. You don't remember him from this other thing?
Yeah,
I don't
remember
exactly
like 5 times.
Yeah. No clue.
No idea who you are.
I've never seen this man before in my life.
But the only thing that Luther can do is try to do something. I mean, he's been acting selfish throughout the entire movie. So at the very end, he has like a crisis of confidence almost.
Yeah, because, I mean, he was thinking, well, okay, fine. Blair's coming home, but, like, we can still go on the cruise.
Yeah. We'll just leave Enrique and Blair
They
here.
can just stay here.
They can stay here, have the whole house to themselves, and, yeah, we can still go on the cruise. And Nora's just like,
not having it.
Like, I don't think so. Like, you know, get your head out of your ass. And he's just sitting there like, all right, fine. I'm just going to sit in the kitchen and sulk. Because that's what men do.
Right? Yes.
But someone comes in the house, and that scene I had a problem with, because someone walks in the front door and he's sitting in the kitchen and can see directly out the front door across the street to the neighbors, the elderly couple. But whoever walked in the front door didn't shut it.
Oh,
that pissed me off. I was like, you know what? I'm not heating the entire neighborhood, pal. I shut my door. But he goes over to do, like, you know, the nice thing and say, hey, you know. But when he's leaving, he goes to walk over there. He's got that glass of champagne. And you just hear, Luther. And he looks up at the Frosty and he's like, ugh. So he throws the glass down like, I've had too much. Frosty's talking to me.
The champagne's gone bad.
Yeah. But then when he comes back and he was like, how long you been up there? And he was like, Blair came home. It's like, I had to hide. So he's just been on the roof the entire party.
He's like, Vic took down the ladder. But, yeah, he goes across the street. So the neighbors across the street, you know, it's the old man that he doesn't get along with. And then his wife, who she's been recovering from cancer. And that's mentioned a couple times throughout the movie. And, you know, so there's one point or a couple times where it's like, well, I have my good days and my bad days.
Yeah.
Today is a good day.
Yeah.
But, you know, he doesn't want the cruise to go to waste. He didn't get the insurance on it. So if he doesn't gift it to somebody, that he's got to, you know, it's just going to go to waste.
Yeah, it's $3,000 down the drain.
So with the party going on, he walks across the street. It's snowing, and he's just like, all right, let me just do this. Because at first he goes across the street, and he briefly talks to the old man.
He brings him the ham.
That's what it was.
Yeah, he brought him the ham, and he was like, yeah, you know, we got this ham, which is weird because
that's the one thing
That's the one thing that the daughter absolutely loves about Christmas is the hickory honey ham.
It's like a tradition for her, and Nora goes through leaps and bounds to try to get one. She goes to the grocery store, races some evil-looking lady at the grocery store who grabs the last one.
Yeah, and God knows how much money she spent, but she did tell that couple that was in front of her, she's like, oh, a hickory ham. She was like, oh, you have the last one? Like, oh my God. She was like, I will pay anything.
Think about your child's college fund.
Yeah, she was like, it's never too early to start planning their future for college.
What pissed me off.
And then like clicks the pen. So God knows how much money she spent.
How many zeros did she put on that check? But what pissed me off about the scene, and it's probably because I worked in retail, it's like she comes up, these people are already in line, and they've got all their food and stuff on the conveyor at the register.
Right.
She comes up, walks past them, and then grabs the ham off the conveyor. Oh my God, you have a hickory honey ham. And
the last one.
Don't take my shit. Like, don't touch my stuff. The hell's the matter with you? So somehow, I guess she convinces them to sell it to her. But then as she's in the parking lot walking to her car, she drops it, and it rolls out of the parking lot into the street and gets run over.
Yeah.
So this becomes this whole traumatizing event for her.
But then that guy that sells the umbrellas, he bumped into her in the store, and he was like, oh, yeah. And she was like, yeah, we're having a party tonight. Blair's coming home. And he's like, oh, Blair. He's like, what is she, like 23 now? And she's like, yeah, she's 23. Oh, she's such a beautiful young girl. I'm so glad. And she's like, do you want to come over? And he's like, to the party? Like he's in shock and awe, like almost like, I get invited to the Kranks? Like, wow. But he knows everything about everybody in town.
Yeah.
And nobody has a clue who he is.
I can't remember the name of the street that they live on, but when he's like, you're on whatever street, right? She's like, yeah, 123 or whatever.
I think he even says the address. He was like 1682 Predecker Street, right? And she's like, yeah. He's like, all right, hey, 8 o'clock? She's like, yeah. Who are you?
Yeah, it was like 8:30, which is kind of late to have a Christmas party, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But we're old, so
yeah.
I'm usually getting ready to go to bed shortly after that.
Yeah, I mean, if the street lights are coming on, don't expect me to be anywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to prepare for this kind of stuff.
All the shit that they had to do just to plan for this party, and I'm thinking, it's their daughter.
Yeah.
Is she really going to expect them to do all this just for her? No. Just to have a quiet Christmas Eve alone with the family, I think would have been acceptable to her. Yeah. But there's the other thing with the tree. He asked one of the neighbors who were going to be out of town for a couple of days if he could borrow their tree.
He's like, oh, I'll put it back. I'll put it back the way I found it.
And I think they were in Chicago, because wasn't it like Chicago Bears stuff all over the tree? I think so.
I don't know if it was Chicago per se, but I mean, it was definitely like a bunch of stuff. And the guy even told Luther, he was like, you bring one ornament off that tree. He's like, it's going to be both our asses.
Right.
And he was like, I'll leave it just like I found it.
Yeah. So
then he gets Spike.
Yeah. Spike is Frohmeyer's kid.
Yeah. Eventually ends up breaking. And that's another thing that kind of drove me crazy. So he hires Spike to help him move the tree. And
I wouldn't say he hired him, but he did enlist his help as if like he owed him for torturing them with the freaking Frosty thing.
Yeah. But even then, it's like, okay, Spike went home at some point, and he didn't go home like, oh, hey, hey, Dad, Luther totally stole someone's tree. I helped him set it up. Like, it didn't say anything about it. So it's like a whole bunch of things could have been solved a lot earlier if someone just went to Vic Frohmeyer first.
Yeah.
And said,
everything's got to go through him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Lou or whatever the guy's name was, I can't remember the neighbor's name that he got the tree from. He's like, he gave me his key so I could borrow his tree so we can just use it in the house while Blair is here, and then we're going to give it back in a couple of days. Do you mind helping me out?
Yeah.
You know, simple as that, but no. He had to get arrested because one of the nosy ass neighbors decides, hey, I think Luther's lost his marbles or something.
He's
like,
stealing so and so's tree.
Like, is there any sign of breaking and entering? Like, did you see him like break into the house? No. But it's funny how Spike disappeared when the cops showed up.
Yeah, it's just like you just see him running off, and then he was like, "Oh no!" He's like, "No, I had help." He was like, "Yeah, no, Spike's here," and he was like, "Who's Spike?" And he's like, "The kid." And he's like, "Spike?" He's like, "Oh, you didn't see
I didn't see any kid.
You didn't see a kid around here?" And they're like, "Nah, see no kid."
But yeah, when they're about to drive to the station, Spike shows up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, what does he have a change of conscience or something?
I was having a crisis of confidence in the back and just figured, hey, I better tell you the truth.
Yeah, he's like, hey, he's like, who are you? Like, Spike. Like, who? Like, Vic Frohmeyer's kid.
It's like, oh, yeah.
If he says that he had a key, you know, the neighbor was going to let him borrow the tree for a couple days, he's telling the truth. Here's the key right here.
Yeah.
It's like, where the fuck were you 5 minutes ago?
Exactly. Nah, I mean, there's plenty more that we could touch on, but, you know, I mean, come on. Just watch the movie, people.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
It's 20 years old.
A lot of funny parts, a lot of points that you probably get irritated by because it's like nobody would act this way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a great movie. It's become one of my go-tos for the holiday season.
Yeah.
And so I definitely recommend this one.
Yep.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's keep the season going. We'll have another Christmas episode next week.
Yep.
Not going to tell you what.
Supposedly.
If there's time. Yes.
The 3 B's.
Yes. Bitches, beers, and bar mitzvahs. I don't know.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, Quotable
Podcast. Out.
Incoming!